Hi everyone, Friday, August 15th. It's about 8 in the morning. Beautiful morning. Beautiful week actually. Not a whole lot of rain. In fact, I think in the last 3-4 days we haven't had any rain. I think we had a bit earlier on this week, but very warm. In fact, yesterday I would call hot. I think we got up to about 27 in Celsius, which is low 80s in Fahrenheit. Originally today was forecasted to be even hotter, but they've since changed that. I think we're supposed to get up to maybe 26 in Celsius today, still lower 80s. A little nicer. You can see there's some cloud cover. There's also some blue sky, so who knows what we'll get. I decided to kind of walk down this grass trail that I was on, I don't know, a few videos ago, and I'm a little better equipped this time. You can see I got my wellies, as they're called in Europe, or rubber boots as we call them back in Wisconsin. Anyhow, as far as this week's video, I'll have a bunch of different odds and ends probably thrown together. A lot of it's going to be, of course, garden and greenhouse related. We're doing a lot of harvesting. We did get all the potatoes dug up and put away. All the onions are pulled, all the garlic's pulled. My wife did a bunch of canning. That's what happens this time of year. It's been, crazy busy, but as I always say, I don't mind being busy. I prefer it. It's just sometimes it's a bit much to manage. I did also want to mention a couple things. I did try out that pressure washer that I recently bought and talked about in a video. I just used it to blast all the mud out of the inside of the fenders on my ATV, and holy moly, that thing works a lot better than a garden hose and a sprayer, so I'm really glad about that. Yeah, things are getting a little greasier as I go along here. One of the other things I've been wanting to talk about, which may not be all that interesting to you, but it might also be slightly interesting, is just my day-to-day routine. I think a lot of you who haven't seen all the videos or know what my life entails, as I've mentioned, I do have still a normal job. It's a part-time job, feels like full-time sometimes, but to get a sense of why I'm so busy, and back to my YouTube channel, there's a lot of things that I do that I probably should record on camera and put on my channel, but to be honest with you, sometimes, especially on a busy day or this time of year, you just got to put the camera down and get stuff done. So at times I wish I would film a little bit more and slow down, but that time will come. I'll talk about that in a minute or two here, but normally during the week, and it depends on the day, but generally speaking during the week, I'm up at 6 at the latest, usually earlier, and I do some work, my normal job. I catch up on a lot of tasks and issues that may have, look at how greasy this is getting. A lot of tasks and chores from the day before. And I generally work, sit in front of my laptop, for at least an hour, if not more. Yeah, this is getting real greasy. I don't want to get in over my boots. Maybe I'll turn around. You guys can see. Let me see if I can get around it. So again, I work for, at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So that gets me till, 8 a.m. or so. And then I go back to my chores, whatever the chores may be that day. Some days it's watering the garden or watering the flower beds or whatever else I've been working on, fixing the road. And I'll do that until about 11 a.m. my time. Then I gotta run upstairs and sit in front of the laptop again and deal with some system processes that run at that time of day. I just monitor them and clean up any issues that might occur, and that usually takes me, you know, an hour or so. Then I manage to find some lunch, and yeah, I might get turned around here. I'm not afraid of getting all muddy, but I don't want to mess up the camera work, so I will turn around here. But so that gets me till about noon. I get some lunch, go back outside, work on various chores and tasks, whatever that may be. Cutting grass, cutting brush, trimming weeds. And that'll take me up to, you know, 2, 3 in the afternoon. And then back upstairs to work my normal job, or what I would call my normal shift. Again, I'm part-time. But so technically I'm really only supposed to work from about 3 my time until 8 my time, but for whatever reason, and it just kind of goes with what I do. You can't really just set a number of hours. If stuff comes up that needs fixed, you got to fix it. So I generally sit in front of my laptop from about 3 my time until 9 o'clock in the evening. In there, you know, I step away here and there to do some odds and ends. Obviously, I need to take care of personal hygiene and take a shower, wash all the dirt from the day off me before I climb in bed. And I wake up the next day and basically repeat. You know, there's some variance. It depends on the day and obviously the time of year. Things slow way down once we get to October, November. In fact, back to my channel, it's kind of a paradox. Right now I've got so much going on, I don't have time to film everything. We'll get to October, November, and there's nothing really going on. In fact, I might have to kind of dial things back a little bit. Instead of putting out a video every week, I'll put one out every 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. If there's enough material, you know, I'll continue to put one out every week. But that's generally what I do on weekdays. It's non-stop. I'm going from, you know, 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Once we get to the weekends, you know, slightly different story. Saturdays, you know, I wake up again 5:30, 6 a.m. I usually do a bit of work, again, an hour, maybe 2 in front of the laptop, and then I'm outside, weather permitting, and cutting grass, again, on and on with the normal chores. Get to about 2, 3 in the afternoon, then I kind of turn into, I won't say a couch potato, but a little bit. That's when I like to watch YouTube. I like to have a few beers, some good food. But anyhow, sorry that was a bit long-winded, but I think a lot of viewers, especially ones that haven't seen all my videos, you know, think that I'm retired and my days are just pretty laid back and I can do what I want when I want, and not so much. Again, I'm not complaining. I know a lot of you, especially in America, have much crazier lives, or, you know, you have a commute to and from work an hour each way or whatever, which I don't envy you on that. But anyhow, I did also want to mention I saw a marten yesterday. I'd been seeing them a few years ago quite often, a couple of them, but I did see one of them real close to the house, so it's good to know they're still around. Pippa saw it too and went crazy. I've gone on long enough. Stay tuned for the main segments in the video, and hope everybody has a great week. So there's one good thing, or many good things, but one good thing about all the rain we've had lately is even my shabby old yard starts to look like a proper lawn from a distance. The rain really helps to green things up and thicken things up, so Like I said, this shabby old yard, I won't call it a lawn, starts to look okay from a distance. It's not like that every year. So my wife was nice enough to do the painting, even got 2 coats on it. Matches the main shed exactly, and looks a bit better, although it looked pretty nice before it was painted. I did get some corner trim on, very redneck, very cheap. It's more for looks than anything else, but everything's pretty much buttoned up. I'm sure there's some other odds and ends that I need to finish, but that's it for the shed. And been busy today. Washed all the windows here on the front entrance, and of course on the house as well. The bigger job is washing all of the glass in the terrace. Usually I do it about 3 times per summer. Actually, this is only the 2nd time I've done it. Not that it didn't need it, I've just been busy with other things, but looks pretty good for now. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long with the flies and the birds and everything else trying to do their business on the glass, but hard work, but worth it. Well, we did get the potatoes dug up, and when I say we, I mainly mean my wife. She did the vast majority of the work. Thank you to her for that. We got all different sizes. Obviously, we got different types, reds and whites, but these are kind of the bigger, nicer ones. Got several other boxes of smaller ones. You call them roasters. We've got some that are, you know, little less beautiful but tasty still. So I don't know, we didn't weigh them. I'm sure we got 100 pounds, you know, maybe 40 kilograms, but there's more somewhere in a box. But that's it for the potato harvest 2025. Honestly, wasn't as good as last year, but still not too bad. We'll see if we make it all the way through till next summer without buying any from the store. And as I showed in a previous clip, we are drying our garlic here in the shed edition. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not a bad year for garlic. Some smaller ones, but plenty of big ones in there too. We probably have at least 100 garlics in there. Obviously each one contains smaller cloves, but at 100 heads of garlic, that's 2 heads a week. And we do eat a lot of garlic, so that should get us through until next year. Pretty good year for garlic. And not a bad year for onions either. Sorry if it's pretty dark. My wife's already got them all dried, clean, put away, and obviously the reason for the darkness is just to keep them preserved for as long as we can. Light and heat are not the friend to onions. We do have a bit more out here, so not sure if that'll get us through the year, but it should. If it doesn't, still a success. And this is a beautiful hazelnut tree. You can see up in here plenty of hazelnuts all over in here. This is not my tree, it's my neighbor's tree. I wish it was mine, although there is one just outside the fence of my property. Hi everyone. Thursday. It's a hot one today. It's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow. Just a quick update on the garden. Not a whole lot changed, but at the same moment a bit has changed. I mentioned the leeks in last week's video. Those continue to grow. In fact, we leave them sometimes in the dirt well into winter. They don't really care about frost. Obviously they stop growing once we get the frost, but our celery's still looking beautiful. Patty pan, carrots producing like crazy. As mentioned, our outside cucumbers look like hell, but actually still producing. You can see a lot of flowers in there. There's a few cucumbers, as you can see. We like them about that size for canning. Beans are slowing down. There's a lot of them in there. I got a feeling some of those will get fed to the chickens, but I ate a few. Zucchinis, still a bunch in there. Again, not my favorite. High bush blueberries, a lot of nice big juicy ripe ones. In fact, my wife's got to get in there and do some picking, or I do. And the greenhouse, just did some watering. But it may look about the same, but I promise you it's not. You know, we've harvested pounds and pounds and pounds, buckets of tomatoes, and we still continue to get more. You can see some really nice big ones, smaller ones. We did finally pull those indoor cucumbers out. They were pretty much done, but that was an excellent year. Sorry, forgot to talk about the peppers. I didn't really zoom in on them, but you can see we've got a lot of just beautiful bell peppers. Chilies are getting nice and ripe. I think those are poblanos, but I'm not sure what they are. A few more bells. Our jalapenos looking a little bit stunted, but that's okay.